Anytime you've got Boris Johnson up on stage being clever about highlighting trees and deforestation, it's a good thing. On the other hand, though, they have a very important and serious goal, which is to end global deforestation by 2030. So we've got to be very real as to what it will take to do that. And unfortunately, 16 billion, while sounds like a big number, we need about $100 billion a year just for forests, or $1 trillion over the next decade. And so we just, we've got to be serious when we make those kind of statements, and that's our only concern.
And there was obviously another agreement about deforestation 7 years ago. That didn't seem to make the difference that was required. What could be different this time?
My sense is that climate change is taken much more seriously by both governments and private sector. And if we can mobilize them working together under one agreement, one carbon accounting standard, and using one method for carbon rules, I think we can scale the finance, but that's our challenge.
Let's talk about the country you represent then, Papua New Guinea. How is climate change being felt there?
Well, it's impacting us in many ways. It's attacking our coastlines. It's impacting our agriculture and our food security, our fisheries. The fish are migrating in different patterns and areas now. So climate change is very real. In fact, in Papua New Guinea, the sea level rise is sort of double what it has been in Europe. And the sea is warming there more than in other areas. So climate change is real, and it's now for Papua New Guinea.
How important is it, do you think, that wealthier nations put their money behind tackling the climate crisis, with many poorer countries being disproportionately affected?
Well, it's more about who caused the problem should have a responsibility to fix the problem. And unfortunately, a lot of countries got wealthy using fossil fuels that caused this problem. So how do we redeploy some of that wealth to help the developing countries in several ways? So Papua New Guinea wants to adapt. It also wants to transition to renewable energy, and it wants to pay its communities to conserve forests, because forests pull carbon out of the atmosphere. They're sort of a big vacuum. And how do we keep that vacuum cleaner working and working at full speed?
And when we look at the money that's been pledged already, how can we feel sure that that money will go where it's needed and be spent how it should be spent?
Well, I would almost put it the other way. There are a lot of pledges and the money never shows up. So when you're from a developing country, you're sort of like, yeah, we heard all this before. We see all these big numbers, but it never shows up over here. So Papua New Guinea is going to create a climate trust, and we want to be transparent with the money that we receive, and we want to make sure that everybody can see we're putting it where it needs to go. But that's far easier than actually mobilizing the money. There have been so many empty promises, quite frankly.